Hi friends, welcome back to another pick a card reading. In today's reading, we are going to answer the question, what are your natural superpowers for making money? So in this Timeless Money Tarot reading, we are going to find out what special skills you have that can earn you money and the things that can bring you more abundance and prosperity in your life. So remember, this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This reading is meant to be empowering. If you feel like checking out my podcast or my online store, please check out the links in the description. Now, if you are new to pick a card readings, here's how it works. The first thing that you're going to do is you are going to pick the pile that you are the most intuitively drawn to. You can also pick a crystal if you feel like doing that instead. So with pile 1 here, we have the Pink Flowers card with the Rhodonite crystal. Pile 2 here, we have this Campfire card with the blue Calcite crystal. Pile 3 here, we have the Rabbit card with the Orca Agate crystal. And then pile 4 here, we have the Radish card and we have, believe it or not, orange calcite. I know this looks yellow, but this is orange calcite. So you can choose one pile, you can choose more than one pile, or you can choose all of them. It's totally up to you. But when you are ready, you can go to the description of this video and find the timestamp that is linked to your pile. Then you can skip ahead to your reading all about what your natural superpowers are for making money. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I will see you on the inside. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. Now let's dive in. Okay, so pile 1. The first card that you have here is the 5 of Pentacles. You also have Protection Guardian, Drop Your Shields. You have Sacred Mountain. You also have Grounding, Potato. You have First House, Arrival. You also have the Red Crowned Crane. This one says Loyalty. You have the Flower card that you chose in the beginning of the reading. And then you have a Super Attractor card. This one says, when I'm tuned into the energy of abundance, I become abundant. So with the 5 of Pentacles here, I feel like one of your natural superpowers is your ability to teach others how to go through financial hardships and how to bounce back from them even stronger in the end. So I do feel like you have this very unique strength in navigating through times that can be challenging or, how to, especially because I'm like looking at the Sacred Mountain card here, I feel like you have this like really powerful strength to be able to move mountains and to be able to move past obstacles that are in your way. And I do think that you know how to like emerge stronger on the other side. Like I feel like that's what continues to be highlighted. So I think that for those of you here who have gone through financial struggle in the past, these experiences have really equipped you with really invaluable lessons, right? And this ability to innovate or think outside of the box when your resources feel scarce. I also feel like you have this strength in supporting other people during times of need. So I do think that you have this ability to build really strong supportive networks and communities. And I feel like you know how to deeply connect with others and you know how to create this mutual support system, which can be really important when you have financial ventures that are collaborative. I also feel like you're a natural leader and you're an empathetic leader. And I think that your empathy really allows you to understand and address the needs of others, and this really makes you this compassionate leader, or maybe even like a business partner who can really attract loyalty and support. So like maybe you go into a business venture and like your partner is the more like analytical one and they do all the numbers and the kind of the behind the scenes systems, and maybe you're the one with the soft skills and the empathy and the compassion and the ability to like relate to others on an interpersonal level, right? And so each role in this business is very, very crucial, right? One is very human based and one is more systems based. And so I think that what you bring to the table is that empathetic and compassionate side that really allows you to draw in more loyalty and support from, whether it's your customers, clients, or, you know, in whichever way that you make money. I feel like you know how to make the most out of little. So I think you probably have a talent for either like making the most out of limited resources. Maybe some of you here have a knack for really stretching a dollar, you know, finding deals, or maybe repurposing some resources in really creative ways. So for those of you out there who have had experiences with financial hardship, I think that this could have led you to have this natural inclination towards being cautious and like maybe even being more mindful about your spending. I think that you've been through a lot and it's taught you not to like overextend yourself financially. Now I also feel like having experienced or understood like whatever you went through, this has led to you having this very deep appreciation for what you do have. So I do think that this gratitude can really drive a sense of motivation and a very positive mindset. And this, I think, has ultimately improved your financial situation. And if it hasn't already, it will. I think that you have this awareness of any sort of pitfalls of financial struggles. And this really keeps you grounded and focused on sustainable growth, right? Rather than doing things that are just like short-term gains. I also feel like with the Five of Pentacles here, you might have like this really deep awareness of socioeconomic issues. So maybe you would excel in doing work that's related to helping people of different socioeconomic statuses. Maybe you have this really keen insight into how different economic systems work, and maybe it will allow you to help others like navigate them more effectively, or maybe you're here to advocate for change. I think that your financial superpowers are not just about making money. Like, you do have that beautiful ability to make a ton of money, and you also have this really cool ability to persevere and to connect with others and to really create value in ways that maybe aren't always like immediately apparent. And your experiences with challenges or adversity, it's really shaped you into a really resilient and resourceful person. And I think that you can find and create opportunities even in the face of difficulty, which is super duper valuable. So yeah, I do feel like with the Five of Pentacles here, you bring this really deep resilience to the table. I think that you have this ability to build and lean on community and to teach others how to do so. And you have this really unique resourcefulness. And maybe this is born out of, you know, where you've come from or the challenges that you've been through, right? I think that I keep hearing the word mastery. Like, a lot of the things that you've been through, although tough, it's taught you a lot about certain things, and it's really allowed you to become a master in certain areas of your finances. And I keep hearing, like, even if you don't believe it yet, like, you'll come to find out one day, like, one day you'll reflect back on this and be like, okay, like, not necessarily reflect back on this reading, but like, you reflect back on yourself and your financial situations, and you're like, oh, okay, like, I had to go through this thing to learn this. Or, hey, when I went through this, like, huge pitfall, it taught me a lot about having this skill, and now this skill has made me a millionaire. So, you know what I'm talking about? Certain lessons teach us, like, skills that are just extremely invaluable, and things that maybe like college or like a course would never teach us, right? Sometimes actually going through certain experiences allow us to become sharper on the other side. So yeah, I just think you have a very unique vantage point when it comes to thinking about your financial or your money matters. Now we also have the Protection Guardian here. This one says drop your shields. So with this card, I feel like it's probably talking about like releasing fears or maybe some defenses. I think that this card really encourages a sense of like openness and receptivity. And so I don't know if like some of you out here would benefit from maybe lowering your emotional or mental barriers to really open up and allow new opportunities and growth for your financial situation. So I do think that you possess this very deep sense of empathy, and you have this ability to connect deeply with others, like we spoke about earlier with the Five of Pentacles. And so this can be a very valuable asset in terms of maybe being in a role where you make money from like caregiving or counseling or customer service or really understanding and supporting others, right? And maybe some of you here will consider careers in social work or healthcare, or really any field where being attuned to others' needs can really lead to financial success. I'm even hearing like YouTube for some of you. Now, I also feel like your intuition is probably going to be a key strength for you. I feel like this is the pile that has this innate ability to sense opportunities and even sense like threats. And I think that this is going to be particularly beneficial when it comes to you, you know, doing business ventures or collaborations or investments or those kinds of things. I think that trusting your gut and being really open to new experiences that are aligned with you and your values can really guide you towards profitable paths. Again, I think that this card suggests that you probably would do really well in some sort of like role or a career that would be more protective or supportive. I think that you have a natural talent for roles that really involve safeguarding others, or maybe like safeguarding other people's finances, or maybe even just providing them with a sense of security. I'm just going to throw out a bunch of different examples of like careers or specific job roles that, you know, could be related to these themes, but please remember, stay open. There's so many more opportunities, and I'm feeling like some of you here could even like design or create your own roles. Maybe you come up with an idea for like a new position at work that's like super necessary and no one's ever thought of before, but it's really helpful. So yeah, but anyway, okay, a couple examples that come to mind when I look at the Protection Guardian card here, in terms of like how you can make money. Maybe this is careers in like security, maybe like law enforcement, advocacy roles where you protect people's rights and maybe their interests. Maybe even some of you here could excel in positions where you create safe and supportive environments. Maybe you work in HR, or maybe you can work in compliance or like leadership roles. And given the guardian aspect of this card, some of you here may have a talent for healing, right? Whether this is like physical or emotional or spiritual. I think that professions in the holistic health or alternative medicine or spiritual guidance could be financially rewarding for some of you here. Maybe things like massage therapy, energy healing, like I mentioned before, YouTube. Maybe some of you out here can be, you know, tarot pick-a-card readers here, or tarot readers, oracle card readers on YouTube. Some of you maybe are like could be wellness coaches. And I do feel like your ability to like lower your shields and create this calm, open atmosphere probably means that you're very talented in resolving conflicts and maybe even mediating disputes. So maybe this talent can be monetized in roles that require negotiation or diplomacy or conflict management. So, you know, maybe you find yourself in a career like legal mediation, or, you know, negotiating, or maybe even like community leadership. I just feel like there's so many different things. You can go down the route of like artistic endeavors, right? Writing, visual arts, performing. So many different things can be done here. Art therapy, creative counseling, maybe even creating like inspirational art. I just think that there's so many different things that you can do here, Pile 1. So stay open to new experiences. You have so much value to provide to others, so it's time to honor that. We also have Sacred Mountain. So with Sacred Mountain here, you know, I always think about like the mountain as the goal or the challenge or the aspiration that we're working towards, right? Because when we hike a mountain, when we you know, visit mountains, many times the goal is to make it to the top, right? Or to make it to the peak or the summit. So maybe for some of you here, you could consider some roles in either like coaching or mentoring or leadership positions where you can guide people or maybe even organizations through their challenges towards success. With mountains, they require the people that climb them to have persistence and resilience. So I think that a lot of you here have this ability to persevere, like we spoke about earlier with the Five of Pentacles. So again, that like resilience and that strength is very valuable in, you know, like business ventures, project management, or really anything that demands long-term commitment and the ability to overcome obstacles. And just like getting to the top of the mountain, this requires a very clear vision and a very clear strategy. So I think that many of you here have natural talents in either like strategic planning or maybe seeing the big picture. Maybe you can find yourself in roles like business development or being a consultant. Really anything that involves long-term planning and foresight can be very, very lucrative for you. With Sacred Mountain here, I also am thinking about nature and the environment. So Maybe some of you have this natural affinity for protecting or maybe sustaining natural resources. Maybe some of you find that you like to make money through things like environmental science or sustainability consulting, or maybe even ecotourism. Whatever it is that aligns well with your talents and provides you avenues for income. We also have the grounding card here. This one says potato. I love that we have like a deck of tarot cards here. So for those of you who are interested in, doing tarot or oracle card readings or astrology online or whatever it is, that could be a confirmation for you. This is also representative of Virgo energy. So I don't know if the energy of Virgo is going to be significant, as it has to do with your natural superpowers for making money. Virgo is very systematic. They're definitely very much dedicated to service. They represent purity. So when we think about grounding, I feel like your natural talents lie in areas where like stability and dependability are very crucial. Just as potatoes are seen as like a staple food and they're very nourishing, I think that's the same theme for you. So I think that like you're a staple person in people's lives. You're very nourishing. I think you're even essential, right? I think people don't feel like anchored without you. Like you truly are kind of the glue that holds everything together is what I'm hearing. Again, I think that grounding, because they, potatoes grow in the earth, there's that connection to the earth again. So for those of you who are interested in working with nature, maybe you work in fields related to agriculture or nature or any sort of career that is related to having a connection to the physical world. When it comes to gardening and like harvesting and doing all that kind of stuff, it requires working with your hands. And so for some of you here, maybe you're interested in like avenues that make you money where you can work with your hands, right? So like pottery or woodworking or some sort of craftsmanship. I think that this could be really lucrative for some of you here. And yeah, I'm also feeling like there's a message here for you guys to stay consistent, whatever it is that you dream of or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So yeah, you just want to stay consistent, and just like potatoes take time and effort to grow, your success will definitely come from effort that is very consistent and patient. So way to go, keep going, pile one. We also have the first house arrival card here. So the first house in astrology is often referred to as the house of self or the house of arrival. It's typically associated with things like our personal identity, our appearance, and the way that we present ourselves to the world. It really does represent the beginning of our personal journeys, and it's really closely tied to things like our personality, our instincts, and the way that other people perceive you. If any of you here know your rising sign, I think most of us know our sun sign, right? So your rising sign is associated with the first house. So if you know what your rising sign is and you feel like sharing it in the comments, I'm always curious to see what all of the signs are that tune into these readings. So I am a Scorpio rising, and I'm curious what rising sign you all are. If you don't know your rising sign and you feel like sharing your sun sign, you can pop those all in the comments. I am a Taurus rising. So yeah. Okay, so in terms of your natural talents for making money, I feel like you probably have a specific talent when it comes to personal branding, right? Because personal branding is all about self-presentation and image. So I definitely think that this is the pile that has a very natural flair for presenting yourself in a very unique way. I think you're very compelling, and I think that this talent could actually be monetized through things like personal branding, where you do leverage your personality and your image to create a very profitable identity. Now, I know that there's a very divided crowd when it comes to this subject, but I always think about the Kardashians when I think about like personal branding, right? And creating a lot of income and wealth and money through things like personal branding. And so anyway, that's just an example. I'm not saying that you have to go be a Kardashian, but I always just think like personal branding, what's some actual examples of people doing that out there? So yeah. Now, with a strong focus on the first house, I feel like you also might excel in roles that require you to be in the public eye. So I don't know if this could be careers like motivational speaking, maybe being a social media influencer, or maybe even like a public relations specialist. The first house also talks about the start of new ventures, so this could be the pile that has a knack for starting businesses or initiating projects. I just feel like you have this ability to lead and to innovate, and I think that this is going to be a huge asset when it comes to any sort of business pursuits that you have. Another one of your natural superpowers for making money is kind of like your strengths in personal development and even like guiding others. So for example, maybe some of you here are interested in doing life coaching, right? Because I feel like you have this deep understanding of self-growth and personal growth, and I think that you could really thrive as someone who is guiding others, really helping them to understand their true potential and to achieve their goals. If you all are interested in self-help, personal development, all those kinds of things, I do have a podcast in my description that's linked for you. It's called the That's Deep Podcast, and I talk about everything personal development, self-help, self-discovery, and spirituality. So I talk about things like Myers-Briggs personality types. I talk about astrology. I talk about entrepreneurship, so many different things. I have a lot of different interviews with a bunch of different people from various different signs and personality types and different stories, and I just have a lot of inspirational stories to share. So check out the podcast. It is linked for you in the description if you feel called. So yeah, back to the first house. The first house also relates to the physical self, so I don't know if some of you would be interested in working in fitness or wellness. I also feel like creative self-expression is another thing here. So for those of you who have any sort of natural inclination towards the arts, maybe you have this ability to like express your unique identity. And I really feel like this could lead to success in creative fields like acting or modeling or fashion design. There can be so many different things that you can do here. For those of you who are even writers or like content creators, I think that you have these really deep insights into human experiences that can really be challenged into things like writing or blogging or content creation. So anything really where like you can share your voice and your perspective and attract a following. We also have the red crown crane. So again, I think that this confirms your natural ability to guide and support others. I think that you have the ability to attract like a loyal following or like people that you mentor. I also feel like your loyalty to helping others can help you grow into a very like highly valued mentorship role. So again, things like being a teacher or a tutor or a coach or a corporate trainer, anything where your commitment to others' success can shine. Now, I also feel like you might excel at building and maintaining really strong trust-based relationships. I feel like having this loyalty to your clients really ensures this long-term business and this really long-term customer satisfaction. So, some of you may thrive in roles like sales or customer service or maybe account management where maintaining and nurturing client relationships are very crucial. Now, for those of you who are more interested in things like social work and counseling, maybe you have a natural inclination to support and stand by people through thick and thin. And I think that this can be a really great asset in fields like social work, therapy, counseling, or anything where you having this loyalty to clients' well-being is very fundamental. Now, I also feel like some of you here could have a knack for maybe fostering loyalty and trust within teams or organizations. So maybe you find that you want to work in places like HR or, engaging your employees or talent development where your commitment to your employees or to the team can really drive success. I'm also feeling like for some of you here who are interested in animal care or conservation, especially if you have a strong loyalty to animals or the environment, I think that you might excel in fields that really involve caring for or protecting others, especially as it has to do with our animal friends. For some of you, maybe working in wildlife conservation or veterinary care or some sort of animal rescue could be something of interest to some of you in this pile. Now, I also feel like there's this huge element of entrepreneurship, which is why I mentioned my podcast if you're interested in listening to different interviews of people who are entrepreneurs, and maybe some of their stories will be very inspiring and guiding to you, because a lot of these people may have similar personality types to you or similar astrological signs or just similar passions. So again, check out the podcast if you're interested in kind of hearing, stories about entrepreneurship and finding people who are like you, like-minded and like-souled. And sometimes all it takes is hearing somebody else's story and seeing that possibility that they could actually, pull off whatever it is that they're working towards, and it can really open the doors and pave the way for you to, go after your dreams. So I just wanted to say that. But yeah, we also have this like multicolored flower card here. And so when I look at this, I feel like the word multifaceted comes out. So I think that you're a multifaceted person. I think that you're very multidimensional. I don't think that this is the pile that was meant to do just one thing. So this could be the pile that like maybe you do work a regular 9 to 5, but then you have your creative ventures on the side. Or maybe you are a full-blown entrepreneur and you work for yourself and you're self-employed. But you also find other sources of income, or maybe you have multiple streams of income. I just think that you're very your skills are very diversified and you can actually do whatever it is that you feel called to, pile 1. And then you also have this affirmation, or I guess this quote on the back, and it says, how lovely the silence of growing things. Ew, interesting. I also feel like some of you in this pile, I feel like you grow and you hustle in silence. I feel like there's so many of you here who are doing so many beautiful and amazing things, and I feel like this is the pile that's not really the type to shout out from the rooftops whenever you have some cool idea, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and blah blah blah. I think that you're more of that kind of person that's I'm not gonna just say it, I'm gonna be about it, I'm gonna actually just take action, and I'm not just gonna mouth off and just be oh yeah, here's all the things I'm gonna do. You're actually gonna do it, and you're actually gonna show yourself and show others that you mean what you say. So yeah, I think that you're growing, you're developing, you're thriving, right? And you don't have to be loud about it, you don't have to call attention to yourself, you just thrive. And I think that that's something that is actually very supportive. I keep hearing the word privacy. I don't know if some of you are in your era of privacy. Maybe this element of privacy has allowed you to focus more, and I feel like it's also brought less stress, right? Because when you're focused on your work and what you have to contribute, you're not necessarily worried about other people judging your work, or you're not worried about what other people are doing, right? You're very focused in. So for those of you too who are I know this sounds interesting, but for those of you who are content creators here, I feel like you've taken a break from social media in a certain way too. I don't know if you've continued to put out your creative expressions, but on a personal level, I feel like many of you here have stepped away from social media. That's just going to be a select some of you here though. So yeah, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But let's move on to the next card here. So we have our Super Attractor Affirmation card here. This one says, when I'm tuned into the energy of abundance, I become abundant. So this affirmation always reminds me of the emotional scale, or the vibrational scale. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's by Louise Hay or Abraham Hicks, either one of those people, but it reminds me of the whole conversation of abundance and kind of what energy we have to tune into to be at that level of abundance and receive that level of abundance. And so for those of you who are not familiar, what I'm speaking about is love is of the highest vibration, and fear is of one of the lowest vibrations, and there's a bunch of different other emotions in between. So when I see this, it's when I'm tuned into the energy of love, when I'm tuned into the energy of gratitude, when I'm tuned into the energy of appreciation, then I become abundant, right? When you feel good, you attract more good into your life. So I don't know if some of you here have a natural talent in maybe a gratitude practice, maybe scripting out your manifestations, anything that helps you tune into the energy of abundance. I know that every time I'm outside in nature, anytime I'm like near like a waterfall or beautiful hike, beautiful summit, I feel very abundant. And so yeah, there's just certain activities that really put you into the feeling of abundance. And so if you all have a very special activity or something like that, some sort of hobby or activity that really puts you into the energy of abundance, I would love it if you dropped it in the comments below if you feel inclined to share. For me, like I mentioned, one of the things that puts me into that energy of abundance is to be out in nature. So I would love to hear what it is that makes you feel abundant, what activity or what hobby that you love to do that makes you feel abundant. Pile 1. Drop me a comment in the comments or drop me an emoji if that's easier. But yes. Okay, so the next thing I want to do here is I would love to pull a like a money affirmation for you. Let's find out what your money affirmation is. Pile 1. Pile 1. What's pile 1's money affirmation? Wow, there's so many. Okay. So we have, I am a powerful force that cannot be stopped. Oh, let me show you. Okay, this one says, and I hope we can read it here. This one says, I am a powerful force that cannot be stopped. Abundance awaits me. So yeah, I definitely feel like this affirmation speaks to what we spoke about with the 5 of Pentacles, how you're super resilient, how you're very powerful, how you're very strong, and you cannot be stopped on your road to abundance. Like, it was destined for you, it's waiting for you, it was in your divine plan. And so your message here, pile 1, is to keep going, right? To keep trusting, to keep honoring your journey. So yes. Now, I also would like to pull some astro dice here to get more information about what your natural superpowers are for making money, pile 1. So let's find out more info for pile 1. Okay. We have Saturn in Aries in the 11th house. Okay, so let's talk about Saturn here first. So with Saturn, so this planet in astrology typically represents things like discipline, structure, maturity, and authority. So Saturn really does represent things like hard work, discipline, and responsibility, and it really does teach life lessons through challenges and sometimes delays, but also rewards perseverance, right? Perseverance, resilience. So it can really make you serious and practical and driven to achieve long-term goals. Now, Aries as a sign is very dynamic. It's an action-oriented sign, and it's all about pioneering and leading and taking bold steps. So I feel like this is the pile that has a very strong drive. You're very independent, you're very assertive, even when you're faced with obstacles. Now, when we speak about the 11th house here, this talks about friendships, groups, and organizations, and it really does talk about our hopes and our dreams and our long-term goals. This is the house that's connected to humanitarian causes. This is the house that is progressive, and it really focuses on how you fit into the larger social fabric. So when we think about your natural talents or natural superpowers for making money and what career options would probably be best with these talents, I truly think that you have a natural knack for leadership in group settings. Like, I really think that you have this ability to take charge within teams or social groups. You know how to bring structure and order to the group, and I do think that you can excel in roles where you can organize and lead community and organizational efforts. Aries has a very pioneering spirit, and so when you combine this with the 11th house, I feel like you might be initiating and leading innovative projects, especially those that are geared towards social reform or community improvement. I think many of you here likely excel in building and maintaining valuable networks. I think you have a disciplined approach that really does help you leverage connections to achieve long-term goals, whether this is personal or collective. I think some potential career fields for some of you out here could be either like a community organizer or an activist. Maybe some of you get into like nonprofit management. Maybe some of you get into entrepreneurship, project management, things like HR, maybe tech, innovation. So yeah, thank you so much, pile 1. Please give this video a like if it resonates. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Take care of yourself. I hope to see you on the next reading after this. I have a playlist with a ton of pick a card readings from a bunch of different topics: career, love, money, manifestation, personal growth, spiritual growth. So check it out. But if not this time, I will see you back on the next reading. Bye, Pile 1. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. Now let's dive in. Okay, so Pile 2. The first card that you have here is the Three of Cups. The next card that you have here is Warrior. This one says be fearless and stand strong. You also have White Buffalo. You have Agreement, Strawberry. You also have 6th house, Sustainability. You have the Jaguar card. This one says Release. You have the Fire card that you chose earlier in the reading. And then you have a Super Attractor affirmation card. This one says, when I connect to the spiritual realm, I open the door to receive divine guidance, clear wisdom, and clear direction and great wisdom. Okay, so Pile 2. I'm super excited to do this reading for you. So the first card that I want to talk about here is the Three of Cups. So when it comes to the question, what are your natural superpowers for making money? The Three of Cups is typically a card that represents things like celebration, collaboration, and joy that's shared amongst, like your friends or your loved ones. So I definitely think that you have this natural ability to work well with others and really thrive in environments where teamwork is essential. So I think that you know how to create wealth by really forming successful partnerships, building things like strong networks, and really leveraging collective skills and collective resources. Like I keep hearing that one quote, the sum of all parts is greater than the whole, or something like that. But yeah, your strength definitely lies in building and maintaining very strong and positive relationships. I think that many of you here might find that your social connections and your communities are very instrumental in creating opportunities for your income and your financial gain. So yeah, I definitely think that with this card you also have a very creative spark that really does allow you to bring new ideas to life. So I think that you have this ability to bring joy and celebration into your work, and this really does attract prosperity. So I don't know if some of you here are going to be finding ways to monetize events or entertainment or any sort of creative endeavor that really brings people together. I do think that this is the pile that has a natural talent for uplifting people, like maybe creating an uplifting and supportive environment, which really is a magnet for your success, Pile 2. So I don't know if you're going to be like involved in motivating a team or creating a harmonious workspace, or just really bringing this vibrant energy to whatever it is that you do. But yeah, I really do think that your superpowers lie in your ability to connect with people and really to facilitate interactions that feel joyous and harmonious. So yeah, I definitely think you have strengths in networking and socializing. I think that you can utilize these skills to find new opportunities and to really expand your influence, Pile 2. I also think that this card means that you can focus on collaborative adventures where having that collective effort can really lead to bigger financial rewards, right? I also think that for many of you here, you can explore careers or maybe even side projects that involve creativity and celebrations and things like social gatherings. I just definitely think that with this card, your natural superpowers for making money are very deeply rooted in your ability to connect with others and really create this harmonious relationship with people around you. And I think you're natural at leveraging the power of community. So we also have the Warrior card here. This one says be fearless and stand strong. So I definitely feel like this is the pile that has the ability to lead and inspire others. I think that you're a very strong candidate for leadership roles. So I don't know if maybe careers in management or having some sort of position as an executive or starting your own business where you can really direct and motivate a team, those could be profitable avenues for you. This is the pile that probably excels at planning and really analyzing situations and coming up with strategies. So I don't know if some of you would be really good in things like project management or consulting. maybe financial planning or strategic planning positions. I definitely think that you have this resilience and this determination. So this is that pile that really has that tenacity to overcome obstacles and really persist in the face of challenges. Maybe some of you find that you'll do well in entrepreneurship or sales or really any field that requires this very high level of perseverance and this ability to bounce back from setbacks. Many of you here also have a very strong sense of justice, and I think that you're willing to fight for what you believe in. So for some of you here, maybe roles in law or social work, activism, or really any position where advocating for others is important. Could be something that is very profitable for you. I also think that you have a lot of like physical and mental endurance. So I know that this is the pile that can thrive in very demanding environments. So for some of you, maybe this is things like the military or law enforcement or sports or any sort of like physically demanding job where it's required to have stamina and strength. I feel like this card also confirms that you have this natural talent at building and maintaining strong relationships. I think that you could excel in careers in networking, maybe client relations, or really any role where strong interpersonal skills are very important. We also have the white buffalo card here. And so the white buffalo has a very deep spiritual symbolism. Specifically in Native American cultures, it's actually seen as a symbol of abundance, prosperity, and spiritual wisdom. So when you're thinking about what your natural superpowers are for making money, I think that this is the pile that has a knack for really understanding and sharing deep spiritual insights. So maybe some of you here find that you do well in offering spiritual guidance or doing things like leading meditation sessions or writing books or articles on spirituality, really anything as it has to do with that realm. Maybe some of you have a connection with nature. So maybe some of you start a business that's eco-friendly or focused on sustainable farming or nature conservation. There can be so many different things here. Again, I do think that we're circling back to the themes of teaching and mentorship. You guys definitely have this ability to teach others, to inspire them, and with this card, I think particularly in spiritual or personal growth areas, maybe some of you here find that you would do well with conducting workshops or creating online courses or coaching in areas that are related to personal development and spirituality. If these are all things that you love to learn about, personal development and spirituality, I do have a podcast called the That's Deep podcast. I have it linked for you in the description of this video, and I cover everything as it has to do with personal growth and spirituality. I talk about how to understand your birth chart, how to understand your astrological signs, your zodiac signs. I talk about Myers-Briggs personality types. I talk about entrepreneurship. I talk about self-help, a bunch of different things. So if you feel called, I have the show linked for you in the description. But back to this reading. So I definitely think that many of you here also have this very innate ability to express yourself creatively, whether this is through art or writing or maybe things like music. I also think that you have this gift for healing. So maybe this is through energy work or traditional medicine or holistic practices. Again, you have this natural ability to bring people together and foster this sense of community. Maybe some of you here find that you organize community events or create support groups or start a business that really focuses on community engagement, right? One of the first exercises that I ever did when I was exploring new career paths was to, I did a bunch of different things, but one of the exercises that I did was I asked friends and family and colleagues for their perspectives on my strengths and how they see me thriving, right? So what I did first was like I acknowledged my own strengths and my own areas of need, but then after that I, zoomed out and I asked for perspective on what other people think my natural talents or skills are. And some of it was really affirming and some of it was very eye-opening as well. So that could be an exercise for some of you here if you feel called to do that. But remember, what you think about yourself and what you know for yourself and your plan is ultimately more important than what others think or place upon you. So yes. We also have the agreement card here. This one says strawberry. This is Libra energy here. And so with this card, it talks about things like harmony and cooperation, things like having mutually beneficial relationships. And strawberries are often associated with things like sweetness and abundance and pleasure. They really do symbolize things like reward and enjoyment. I think they also represent things like growth and vitality too. But given the theme here, I think that some of your potential talents are that you're probably very good at like negotiation and mediation. I don't know if you have a talent for like bringing people together and finding common ground. I think this could be really useful in roles like real estate, maybe mediating disputes, law, negotiating deals, or really facilitating agreements. I think that many of you here are naturally good at building and maintaining positive relationships with people, like we spoke about earlier. So I definitely think that this could make you very effective in sales and customer relations. I also feel like with strawberry here, some of you could have a knack for organizing and planning events that really bring people together and create this sense of community and enjoyment. I think that many of you here could enjoy opportunities that involve creating very enjoyable experiences or products. So maybe this could be in the arts or hospitality or really any field where pleasure and enjoyment are key outcomes. I see this pile thriving in environments that really value teamwork and collective success. You have a natural ability to foster agreement between parties. So I think that that's super duper valuable, pile 2. We also have the 6th house here. This one says sustainability. So I think that some of you here could excel in either organizing resources or kind of like optimizing systems and processes to increase efficiency, maybe to like reduce waste. And I think that this is very valuable when trying to be sustainable in your practices. I think that you have talents in promoting health and well-being. Maybe this is things like holistic health services or like farming, things that are related to like organic stuff or eco-friendly things. I also feel like some of you here could feel called to service-oriented work. So maybe some of you here would do well in jobs that involve serving others, maybe consulting, just so many different things. I'm also hearing like working in public schools. With the 6th house here, I also feel like you have this really cool ability to pay attention to details and really maintain high standards. And this could be really valuable in like career roles that require things like precision. So yeah, I do think that you have like these analytical, maybe even research skills. So with Jaguar release here, I feel like we're talking about things like natural talents in letting go, maybe in transformation, or maybe some sort of renewal. So I think that your natural talents for making money lie in your ability to be able to navigate and thrive in changing environments or maybe changing markets. I think that many of you here would do well with leading teams or projects through significant transitions or changes. And I do think that this will bring about growth and success. I think that you all have a natural talent for coming up with new ideas or approaches that really disrupt the status quo, and it really does lead to more financial gains. So yeah, with this card, I just feel like it's this message to let go of like any old methods or ideas that maybe are like not working anymore, and to embrace new strategies that lead to financial success and growth. So we also have the fire card here. This one is the first card that you chose. So I think about passion when I see the element of fire. So I think that your natural superpowers for making money, it really boils down to what you're most passionate about. What lights you up, what brings you joy, because following that as your compass is going to lead you to more money than you ever expected. And we also have follow the spark. So yeah, I think that this is also a message to be willing to pivot. Like when you feel like things are getting dull or maybe you're not interested in something anymore, be willing to pivot, be willing to follow your spark, be willing to follow your passions. We also have the super attractor card here. This one says, when I connect to the spiritual realm, I open the door to receive divine guidance, clear direction, and great wisdom. So again, I think that when we spoke about spirituality with the white buffalo card here, I think that spirituality is going to be one way that you can bring money in. Like, you're very talented in connecting to the spiritual realm, and so I think you can like give other people divine guidance, but then I also think that you receive divine guidance, and this is what leads you in the right direction towards more abundance. So I also want to get like a money affirmation for you. So what is pile 2's money affirmation? So you have, I vibrate at a high frequency, I am energized, and I am inspired. I think that this affirmation talks about the feelings that come from the Three of Cups. When you're inspired, right? And especially this one too, follow the spark. When you're inspired, when you're energized, when you're feeling good, that's when you are operating at the frequency of abundance, which then allows you to draw in more of the things that you desire, more of your dreams, more of all of that. Now, what I want to do next is I would love to roll some astro dice to find out more about what your natural superpowers are for making money. Pile 2. So we have the Sun in Leo in the 10th house. So in astrology, the Sun represents things like your core essence. It's where you shine brightest. And Leo is associated with things like creativity, leadership, and having this charisma. And the 10th house talks about things like our career, our reputation, and our public life. So I do think that your natural superpowers are in your ability to lead and to have authority. So you do have this ability to take charge and inspire others. And I think that you are often seen as a natural leader and somebody who's comfortable in a position of authority. Leo as a sign is ruled by the Sun, and it really does thrive in situations where it can self-express, right? And it can create. So you do have this flair for self-expression, and I think that many of you can thrive in the spotlight. So yeah, I also feel like your presence is very magnetic. I feel like you draw people in easily to you, and you exude confidence, and you have this very strong sense of self-worth, which is really, really influential when it comes to public roles. And now I feel like some of you here could be saying like, yeah, my sense of self-worth isn't that great, or like, I didn't think it was like that strong. I'm hearing like, just wait, or like, give it time, because you never know the person that you're becoming. So like, I always give this example, like when I was growing up, I always labeled myself as a shy person. And now as an adult, I look back and I'm like, I don't think I'm a shy person. I just think that I am someone who was quieter and more observant. And I think that, you know, my caregivers, my teachers, the adults, and my peers in my world, and I didn't have the language to kind of describe myself in a more nuanced way. It was just easier to say, well, she's shy. So with that being said, as an example for this, like, I would think, okay, if some of you out there are struggling with self-worth or self-confidence, like, the only way I know how to say it is like, don't sleep on yourself. Don't doubt yourself, because you never know who you're going to bloom into one day. So anyway, back to the 10th house. So the 10th house is all about career and your public standing. So with the Sun here, I feel like this is the pile that has a very strong drive to achieve and to be recognized for their accomplishments. So I think that you know how to aim high, and you're willing to work hard to reach your goals. I also feel like you have this energy and this enthusiasm about you, pile 2, that's super contagious. So I do feel like you have this knack for motivating others. I feel like you are very persuasive. You know how to rally people around a cause or a project. So just know that this list is not exhaustive. There are so many other things that you could be doing as well, but given the astro dice here, I feel like many of you here are probably meant to be in leadership roles, maybe being a CEO, a manager, maybe an executive, where you can lead teams and really make strategic decisions. Some of you here might find that you're drawn to the entertainment industry, so maybe you're drawn to being an actor or a performer or a director, where you can really shine on stage, or maybe even behind the scenes, right? Now, if you guys are interested in things like creative arts, maybe you are interested in exploring things like being an artist or a designer or a writer, something where your creativity can really be fully expressed and appreciated. Some other things that I can think of are things like public relations and media, maybe being like a PR specialist, a TV host, maybe a journalist, or anything that really requires a strong public presence and the ability to influence a public opinion, right? Now, I also feel like some of you here would be really well equipped to be in politics or some sort of like advocacy. Maybe, you know, some of you become a politician or an activist or a public speaker where you can go ahead and lead and inspire others on a broader scale. Many of you here are going to find that you have natural talents in entrepreneurship. Maybe starting your own business will allow you to take full control and create something uniquely yours, and it really something that can play to your strengths as a leader and a visionary. And like I mentioned earlier, maybe for some of you, you want to dive into things like education and mentorship. Maybe you dive into teaching or coaching or mentorship, right? Where you can guide others and inspire them through your knowledge and your experience. So yes, thank you so much, Pile 2. Please give this video a like if it resonates. It really does help the channel. Leave me a comment below with what pile you chose. I really do love to connect with you all in the comments. I honestly reply to every single person. I've been on YouTube for a long time and I still reply to every single comment. So yes, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Please take care of yourself. Have a beautiful day. I hope to see you on the next reading after this. I have a playlist with a ton of pick a card readings, everything from career, love, money, manifestation, all of the above. So check it out, and if not this time, I'll see you back on the next video. Bye, Pile 2. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Now let's dive in. Okay, so Pile 3. The first card that you have here is the Star. You also have Fire Guardian, Ignite Your Passions. You also have Spirit of Air. You have Gratitude, Pink Rose. You also have Descendant, Invitation. You have News, Raven. You also have the White Rabbit card that you chose in the beginning of the reading. You have a Super Attractor affirmation card. This one says, I'm in awe of the magnificent guidance that's available to me. So the Star typically represents things like hope, inspiration, and things like renewal. So when it comes to what your natural superpowers are for making money, Pile 3, I feel like you have this naturally positive and optimistic outlook, which really helps you to attract opportunities for financial growth. So I do think that you having this hopefulness really allows you to see possibilities where others might see obstacles. So you know how to think outside of the box, you know how to come up with creative ideas, and I think that this innovation can really lead you to experiencing unique ventures and products and services that really stand out in the market and can really generate income. I also feel like this is the pile that has a very calm and composed demeanor, which I think is really important when it comes to managing financial things, because this allows you to make like sound decisions under pressure. And I think that you having this tranquility also attracts trust and confidence from others, and it makes you a reliable business partner or like a reliable financial advisor. Now, this card is also associated with sharing and openness, so I do think that you have this very natural inclination to help others and really share your wealth, which can lead you to a very positive cycle of like goodwill and reciprocity. And so I think this is going to lead you to further financial opportunities. I also think that you have this really natural ability to bounce back from any setbacks and really kind of like regenerate your efforts. And I think that you having this resilience really ensures you that you can recover from any sort of challenges that you ever come into contact with, and that you can go and strive towards prosperity. So I do think that this card is here to remind you that you are naturally aligned with your higher purpose or your calling. So I do think that this alignment will lead you to a very fulfilling work that not only brings you financial rewards, but it also brings you personal satisfaction as well. So I do think that with this card, maybe you can use your creativity to do something that like sets you apart and like allows you to attract customers or clients. I don't know, for some of you, I don't know if some of you desire to be in the public eye in some way. Maybe you're, if some of you have always wanted to be a star or shine in some way, just know that this card confirms that. I also feel like you have this ability to cultivate and to grow your financial resources with a lot of patience and care. I think that we have all the stars here in the background, and this really signifies things like guidance and inspiration. And I think that you are very divinely guided, but yet some of you here could actually be making money from being a guide to others. So yes, we also have our Fire Guardian card here. This one says ignite your passions. So I do feel like entrepreneurship is going to be huge here for some of you. I think that you have this ability to ignite and pursue your passions and, you know, start new ventures or businesses that really align with what you feel lit up by. I think that your enthusiasm and your passion can be very, very persuasive as well. So I think some of you here would really excel in roles where sales or marketing was necessary. I just think that you know how to communicate effectively and you know how to be persuasive when you actually believe in a cause. And so fire energy often relates to creativity and innovation. So I think some of you could have a talent here for the creative fields such as art or design or writing or performing arts or music, right? I just think that there's so many different avenues that you can take where your passion can go ahead and drive your success. Now, I do think that you have this natural leadership ability. I think that you have this ability to inspire and to motivate others. And I think that you could excel in leadership positions where you can ignite and lead teams towards, you know, like a common goal. Now, with your ability to ignite these passions, I also think that personal branding and influencing roles could be lucrative for some of you here if that's what you're interested in. So whether you're interested in things like social media influencing, content creation, being a YouTuber, being a podcaster, or, you know, getting into things like life coaching, doing brand deals, a bunch of different things, these could all be things that will bring you like more passion, more financial success. We also have the Spirit of Air card here. So the Spirit of Air often is associated with things like the mind and the intellect and communication and having mental clarity. So I really do think that you have natural talents in being able to articulate your ideas very clearly and very persuasively. So again, I think that you could see success in things like writing, maybe sales, maybe marketing, social media, maybe public relations. I also do think that you have a knack for problem solving and critical thinking, and this is going to be really valuable in professions like things like financial analysis or consulting or, you know, like strategic planning. If you have a talent for writing or maybe editing, maybe you'll thrive as a writer, like I spoke about earlier. Maybe some of you here would do well as being a journalist or an editor, or maybe being in a content creation role. Now, for those of you who are interested in technology or maybe like information management, I think that things like IT or data analysis or maybe information management could open doors for you to like tech-related industries or research. Now, I think that your skills in negotiation could be advantageous in legal careers, legal or intellectual property related things. But I do feel like you just have this really good like mental agility and communication and this ability to navigate complex ideas and situations. So yes, we also have gratitude here. This one says pink rose. We have Gemini energy here. So I feel like I keep feeling like either like customer service or relations for some of you. Like some of you might excel in really creating a very positive and grateful atmosphere for customers. So I don't know if this is something that would bring like loyalty. And so I think that this is something that fosters loyalty and repeat business, which is huge. I also feel like salesmanship could be a really big thing for you. I feel like salesmanship could be a really cool thing for some of you here to do. I feel like some of you here are naturals in being able to persuade people, to make sales pitches. And so I just think you're very authentic and you're very sincere. And so that goes a long way when it comes to sales and business. Some of you here, maybe even event planning could be something that could be a lucrative niche for you. Maybe you organize events and you really create this beautiful vibe. Again, networking. Maybe some of you do like content creation, writing, designing, creating digital content, making YouTube videos, kind of creating things that really resonate deeply with other people and really enhancing things like engagement and monetization. So yeah, I just feel like you have a lot of different talents, pile 3, and what would be helpful is to kind of leverage your natural ability to connect with others. So yeah. We also have the Descendant card, this one that says Invitation. So the Descendant here is actually one of the most significant points in the birth or natal chart, and it's actually directly opposite your rising sign or your ascendant. So basically, the Descendant helps you to understand what we lack or what we need to integrate into our personalities. It really does show us what we can learn about ourselves through our relationships. And knowing the qualities of your Descendant can really guide you in choosing partners who complement and balance you, and it really does lead us to more fulfilling and harmonious relationships. And having this awareness of your Descendant can also help you to recognize and really embrace these traits within yourself, which really does bring about more personal growth and more balanced interactions. So knowing about your Descendant really provides this deep layer of understanding, offering like super deep insights into how we relate with others and what we seek in our connections, especially our significant ones. So I think that maybe you have a knack for bringing people together, maybe mediating conflicts, or kind of finding like mutually beneficial agreements in business partnerships. This could talk about networking again, like I spoke about earlier, referrals, collaborations, joint ventures. I think that you also probably do excel in assembling and leading teams. I think you know how to leverage diverse talents and skills to achieve financial success. So I don't know if some of you end up working in HR or like recruiting. I really do think you have really strong interpersonal skills. You have this deep understanding of other people's needs and their motivations, and this is very valuable when it comes to things like sales or client relations or customer service roles. And now I hope that you guys don't think I'm just driving sales. Like, that's just for select some of you here. Some of you here are healers, right? Some of you here are writers. Some of you here are artists. Some of you here, there might not even be a word to describe the best role for you or the best way for you to make money. Maybe this is something that you create yourself. You just have so many talents. I just wanted to point that out, pile 3. Now we also have the news card here. This one says Raven. Ravens are associated with things like intelligence and communication. So again, this confirms things like writing, maybe reporting, journalism. I think that with your communication skills, right, there's so much spirit of air, Gemini, news, right? Lots of air here. So again, maybe things like the media, broadcasting, PR, marketing, just any sort of thing that's related to communicating effectively and expressing yourself. I also feel like a lot of you here would do well in a role that requires you to do problem solving and maybe to like think outside of the box. We also have the rabbit card that you chose earlier in the reading. First off, I just think that you're pure magic, pile 3. I think that you can absolutely do anything that you want in this lifetime, and I think that whatever it is that you're passionate about, just know that those ideas are fertile. Rabbits are often a symbol of fertility, creativity, and then this one says seek magic every day. So yeah, this reminds me of the Magician card in the tarot. So you can manifest anything it is that you want, right? You can create the life that you want to live, right? Whatever it is that you're divinely inspired by, you can create here on earth, right? Side note, for some of you who are interested in doing like readings for others, I feel like you are going to be a very clear channel. So that's a message for a specific some of you here. But yes, let's actually get some... Oh, wait, I'm not done yet. We also have our Super Attractor affirmation card here. This one says, I'm in awe of the magnificent guidance that's available to me. I love this, and I feel like we're just speaking about this with the star. She gains this divine guidance from, you know, the universe, and then she like creates that magic here on Earth. So you are a powerful manifester, pile 3. You can create anything it is that you want. All you have to do is take out your paintbrush and start creating on your canvas. What are you passionate about? What do you want to express? What do you want to share? Anything goes. Sky's the limit. So the next thing I want to do here is I would love to pull some money affirmations for you. What is pile 3's money affirmation? Yours came quick. This one says, I have everything within me to succeed. Every day I am closer to my dreams. I love that. And like we're talking about magic, and I was speaking about the Magician card in the tarot, part of the Magician's message is that you do indeed have everything that you need to succeed, right? You have all the skills at your disposal to be able to manifest what it is that you want and what you desire, what you dream of. The next thing I want to do here is I would love to roll some astro dice to get more information about what your natural superpowers are for making money. Pile 3. Okay. We have Mercury in Virgo in the 7th house. So Mercury is the planet of communication and intellect, which I think is super cool because we were talking about, you know, spirit of air, Gemini, the mind, the intellect, communication. So this reading for you, pile 3, is very Mercury based because it is very much about communication and intellect. And Mercury as a planet is very comfortable in the sign of Virgo because it rules this sign. So I do think that this is the pile that has a very sharp and analytical mind. You have this ability to notice details that people might overlook. And I think that many of you here are very methodical and precise and very skilled at problem solving. I think you have a natural superpower in being able to dissect complex information and really organize it efficiently, and you have this ability to find practical solutions as well. Now, with the 7th house here, this is the house of partnerships and relationships and collaborations. So having Mercury here could mean that you excel in communicating and negotiating within those one-on-one relationships, whether they're personal or professional. So I think that your natural superpower here is that you can articulate your thoughts very clearly, and you have a knack for understanding other people's perspective, which makes you a very excellent mediator and a very excellent collaborator. Now, if you're interested in learning about what the different houses in your birth chart mean, I do have a podcast called the That's Deep podcast. I have it linked for you in the description of this video, but I actually break down your birth chart, how to understand it, how to break down all the planets, all the houses, all of that. And I have very short and sweet episodes. I'm talking 5 minutes or less, and it helps you to understand your birth chart so that you can use it as a tool to improve your life, career, relationships, and so much more. So link is in the description if you feel called to check out my podcast and learn more about the different houses and more about astrology, your chart and your signs and what they all mean. Check that out. But yeah, in terms of potential career fields with these astrological placements, pile 3, potential career fields that could bring you more finances, more money. First one I'm thinking with this is law and mediation. I feel like because you have such strong analytical skills and a strong ability to communicate clearly, it would really make you a good fit for legal careers, especially those that involve, you know, negotiation or partnerships, you know, things like contract law or family law or, you know, mediation. So maybe some of you decide to become lawyers or mediators or arbitrators or legal consultants, right? I also feel like many of you here would do well in consulting or advisory roles because you have that deep knack for understanding and improving processes. and you have this very detail-oriented nature, and this is really beneficial in advising and consulting positions where you can help others to optimize their strategies. So maybe some of you here dive into things like being a business consultant or a management analyst or, you know, strategic advisor of some way. I also think that some of you would do really well as a therapist or a counselor, maybe a life coach or a marriage and family therapist, because you do have this ability to communicate effectively in one-on-one settings. You're very empathetic, and I feel like you have this service-oriented mindset. So this is great when it comes to things like counseling, where you have to build relationships and understand clients' needs. Now, again, we come back to the areas of writing. Maybe some of you find that you would do well as an editor, maybe a technical writer, a copywriter, or maybe like someone who strategizes content for people, or yourself. I just feel like you have a natural talent for writing and editing, and you have this focus on clarity and precision. So I do think that you will excel in roles that require approaches that are very meticulous to language. Again, I think I mentioned before, HR, maybe HR manager, recruiter, employee relations specialist. I think that some of you here would do really well in like healthcare and medical fields, nurse, physician's assistant, doctor, you know, healthcare administrator. Again, like I mentioned, customer service manager, things like client relations, you know, account managers, all of these different things I think you would do also well. There's so many different options. So I hope that was helpful, Pile 3. Please give this video a like if it resonates. It really does help the channel. Comment below with what pile you chose. I really love to chat with you all in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Please check out my channel page. I do have a playlist with a ton of pick-a-card readings for you to explore. Everything from love, money, career, manifestation, spirituality. So definitely check that out. But if not this time, I will see you back on the next reading. Bye, Pile 3. Hi, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading. Now let's dive in. Okay, so Pile 4. The first card that you have here is the 9 of Swords. You also have the Elder card. This one says move beyond ancestral patterns. You also have Spirit Keeper of the North. You have Attraction, Pansy. You also have Virgo, Digest. You have Orca. This one says Songlines. You have the Radish card that you chose earlier in the reading. And then you also have your Super Attractor card. This one says, when I cultivate a spiritual connection, I can trust the universe no matter what. So the first card I want to talk about here is the 9 of Swords. So with the 9 of Swords here, when it comes to what your natural superpowers are for making money, I feel like you are someone who is very mentally strong. You're someone who is capable of enduring and overcoming any obstacles that you come into contact with, whether this is stress or worry. And I feel like this can be a superpower in the financial world where staying calm and composed under pressure is very crucial. So I feel like with this card, you have this very deep introspective nature. I feel like you have a natural ability to analyze situations and really foresee potential problems and prepare for them. And I think that this is a huge, significant asset in managing and making money. I also feel like you have a very deep level of empathy and understanding. Right? Despite the imagery here, the 9 of Swords can talk about this profound ability to understand and to empathize with other people's struggles. So this could be very powerful in fields like counseling or negotiation or customer relations, where understanding client needs is very, very important, right, to that financial success in that realm of work. I think that being naturally attuned to potential problems can also help in avoiding pitfalls, and I think this is going to allow you to make really, really solid and firm financial decisions. I think that your caution and your vigilance will definitely be your superpower in protecting and growing your wealth. You know, sometimes experiencing or even being fearful of hardship can drive a person to achieve great success, right? So the anxieties that are represented by the 9 of Swords can definitely fuel this really strong desire to create security and prosperity for your life, which I 100% think that you're capable of doing. So I do feel like you know how to navigate and thrive in challenging financial environments. You know how to stay focused. You know how to make strategic decisions even when you're under stress. I think that you have this ability to foresee and to plan for potential financial risks. And this has all helped you to make maybe safer or more profitable investments or better like business decisions. Again, I think that understanding and addressing the needs and concerns of others can lead to your success in roles that involve things like negotiation or sales or client relations. I feel like you have this inner drive to overcome challenges and, you know, to avoid financial insecurity. And I think that this is what pushes you to work harder and smarter. So yeah, I do feel like your natural superpowers for making money with this card include that you're resilient, right? That you are cautious and that you have this deep understanding. This is incredibly valuable in the realm of making money. Now, we also have the Elder card here. This one says move beyond ancestral patterns. So I feel like you could excel in maybe like updating traditional methods or maybe like traditional industries with modern approaches. I think that you know how to like cater to the current market needs while also respecting past wisdom. Now, I really do think that you have natural superpowers in the area of consulting and counseling. Consultation or counseling services could be profitable for you. I also think maybe the areas of education and training could be good for you too. I'm also feeling this element of like the creative arts and storytelling. So I don't know if some of you here are going to utilize storytelling or maybe the creative arts to reinterpret like maybe old ancestral patterns that your clients come in with, or maybe these are things that you work through. But I definitely think that you're going to be sharing from your heart, maybe through like writing or media or the performing arts if you are creatively inclined. I just think that you're going to leverage your understanding of the past and kind of incorporate that into where you're going in the future. I also feel like for some of you, you can be someone, again, who is like a guide to others or a mentor, someone who can kind of help people navigate through certain times of their life, you know, the challenges, the positives, the ups and the downs. So we also have the Spirit Keeper of the North card here. So with this card, I feel like you could excel in roles where you either like manage finances or investments, or maybe you budget with a focus on stability and long-term growth. I don't know if like property ownership and real estate investment would be something that resonates with you. I think for some of you here, you might be inclined to start businesses or ventures in more traditional industries like construction, maybe agriculture, things like manufacturing. For some of you here, maybe you're going to focus on conservation and sustainability. So this could be things like environmental conservation or energy efficiency, or something to do with the idea of preserving resources and creating more stability. Now, I also feel like you guys would do well in careers that involve managing assets. So whether this is like physical properties or commodities or financial, like, you know, portfolios and trusts, I just think that you have this really deep stability and this keen sense of awareness and like the sense of discernment that's very, very valuable, pile 4. Now, we also have the attraction card here. This one says Pansy, and we have Libra energy here. So I do feel like you have this natural ability to attract people through your charm and your charisma. I think that this is especially useful in sales and marketing, or really any profession where interpersonal skills are crucial. Pansies are also associated with things like creativity and artistic expression. So again, maybe some of you are inclined to get into the fields of design or writing or entertainment, or anywhere really where like innovation and originality are valued. Now, I also feel like you have strengths in the area of diplomacy and negotiation. I think that you have this ability to attract, so I feel like this ability that you have to attract can also extend to you being able to negotiate deals well, or you managing relationships effectively. So I do feel like you could really do well in roles that require diplomacy, maybe things like business development, or again, things like client relations. Pansies are also sometimes linked to things like sensitivity and intuition. So this is the pile that has an extremely strong intuition, very, very intuitive. Your psychic senses are definitely strong. So I definitely think you have this knack for understanding people's needs. I even feel like you, I keep hearing the word like prophecy. Like I think that you have certain skills in like future forecasting or like predicting certain things, which is really valuable in certain areas when it comes to making money. Now, I also feel like you're very, very adaptable. The pansy flower, it really does thrive in like many different conditions. And so again, it's that sense of like resilience. It's that sense of strength that you have. And so I think that these talents really suggest that you do have this range of strengths that can be leveraged in so many different ways. And I think that these things can really create opportunities for your financial success. Now we also have Virgo here, and this one says digest. So Virgos are known for their practicality. They're known for their attention to detail, and they're really known for their analytical skills. So these are all really important themes when it comes to making money. So yeah, I do think that you're very excellent at either organizing or managing details. I think that this talent is especially beneficial in careers that involve management, like project management or some sort of meticulous planning, maybe event planning or financial management. But I do really think that you have this sharp analytical mind. You're good at breaking down bigger problems into smaller manageable parts. And I think that you have this beautiful attention to detail. I'm also feeling like I'm hearing like accounting, auditing, quality control for some of you here. I do think that you have wonderful problem solving abilities because the energy of Virgo is an excellent problem solver. So again, I don't know if some of you are interested in entrepreneurship or consulting, or some of you might be interested in the technical fields. Now, Virgo is the sign that is dedicated to service. So I don't know if some of you would be interested in things like customer service or healthcare or teaching, or really any profession where helping others is really that central focus. I think that you're naturally curious. You enjoy learning new information, and this can really lead to successful careers in things that involve curiosity, like research or academia or writing or journalism. I just think that you would thrive in any environment where your analytical abilities and your attention to detail are valued and put to good use. Now we also have the Orca card here. This one says songlines. So I really do think that you have this talent for leading others or guiding them towards your goals, right? We spoke about being a guide with elder. So again, maybe possibly roles like mentoring or coaching or consulting. Now I'm also thinking a lot about creativity and even artistry when it comes to this card. So I think that many of you here could excel in fields like writing, music, visual arts, design, anywhere where you can have your unique perspective and your ability to evoke emotions like expressed into the world. Now, Orca can represent things like deep intuition and emotional intelligence. So again, you have this talent for understanding people's needs and their desires. I think that this really makes you effective in roles like psychology, counseling, maybe even market research, maybe even like things like consumer behavior analysis. Now, with a theme of like, song lines, communication, storytelling. So I do think that you will thrive in roles that involve things like public speaking or writing, journalism, singing, marketing, anything where your ability to craft really compelling stories and messages will definitely lead to your financial success. So we also have the Radish card here. And so I definitely think that this is a sign to stay grounded, a sign to stay connected to the earth. I think that the work that you're here to do, Pile 4, is one that's very deep, it's very transformative, or it's going to leave a very lasting impact on the world. And this one says, and the secret garden bloomed and bloomed, and every morning revealed new miracles. Yeah, I do think that you're here to be a guide for others, to show them that they can transform, they can go through that metamorphosis, and they can bloom over and over and over again, right? So I keep hearing like every transformation is a new miracle. So yes, we have an affirmation card here. This one says, when I cultivate a spiritual connection, I can trust the universe no matter what. So yeah, I do think that this is a reminder to, I guess, just not to forget that you are supported like outside of yourself. So like I don't know what it is that you resonate with, like whether that's the universe, that your higher self, God, whatever it is that you resonate with, because I always like to say we have room for everybody's beliefs on this channel. So I'm just thinking that this card is like a reminder that when we remember that we're supported by the universe, when we remember that we do have a connection to the divine, it allows us to like develop this deeper sense of trust. And having that sense of trust and that belief and that expectation that things are going to work out well for you, and things are going to be beautiful, and things can be easy and better and more prosperous for you. And that's when abundance can flow into your life easier. So yes, we also have a money affirmation. So I want to get a money affirmation for pile 4. Okay, so this one says, I live in a world of infinite possibilities. I believe I am capable of achieving great things. So again, this is a reminder that like our belief, it's really important. You believing that you can actually have, be, and do anything that you want in this lifetime is very, very important. So keep trusting, keep believing that you are capable of achieving great things, pile 4, and you will. Now the next thing I want to do is I would love to roll some astro dice to get more information about what your natural superpowers are for making money, get any sort of examples of careers that you might be able to use these talents in. Oh, let's try that again. Okay, you have the sun in Taurus in the 9th house. Now, if any of you are interested in astrology and you want to get to know your birth chart a little bit more, you want to learn how to understand astrology and your signs in the simple way, I do have a podcast called the That's Deep Podcast. I have it linked for you in the description of this video, but I basically have short and sweet episodes on how to break down each of the houses, the planets, your signs, and what it all means for you, and how you can use astrology as a tool to improve your life, career, relationships, and so much more. I also have other really fun personal growth and spirituality topics, everything from personality types, interviews about entrepreneurship, and so much more. So check out the link in the description if you are interested. But getting back to the astro dice here. Okay, so let's talk about the sun in Taurus. So Taurus is known for being very grounded, very practical, and very reliable. So I do think that this pile is very patient. They're very persistent. You're very persistent, and you have a very strong work ethic. Taurus is known for having an appreciation for beauty and comfort. So I don't know if some of you here would be inclined to work in fields like art or design or fashion. Taurus is actually ruled by the planet of Venus, and this is the planet of value and money. So I think that with this practicality, with this stability, I do think that this can actually make you very adept in managing your finances or careers, or career, and attracting more money. Now, the 9th house is associated with higher education, philosophy, and long distance travel. So some of you here could have a passion for learning new things, maybe exploring new cultures, or really understanding the broader picture of life. The 9th house is also linked to things like teaching and sharing knowledge. So some of you may have this natural ability here to inspire and educate others. The 9th house also talks about publishing and writing. So again, this brings up the theme that you might excel in careers related to writing or journalism or the media. The 9th house also talks about law and philosophy and ethics. So maybe careers in legal professions or roles that require ethical considerations could be fitting for you. And the 9th house also has a focus on travel and adventure. So I do think that maybe you'll find fulfillment in careers that involve travel or allow you to have more freedom of time and space. Maybe you can work a remote job where you can work anywhere as long as you're connected to the internet. But yeah, I'm gonna throw out like a bunch of different like examples of careers that could be fitting. Remember that this list is not exhaustive, and that there are so many other options out there too, as well as the ability to create a position of your own if you don't see one out there in the world yet. But with the astro dice here, I'm thinking that many of you could do well in either like education, maybe travel or hospitality, maybe like a travel writer, a blogger, maybe a tour guide. For some of you here, you might do well in finance and real estate. Maybe for some of you, art and design, like an interior designer, fashion designer. Again, things that have to do with law and ethics. So like cultural advisor or lawyer, attorney, an ethics consultant. You could have a career in publishing and writing. Maybe you're going to be an author or a novelist, maybe an editor, a publisher, maybe a journalist, maybe a reporter. So many different things that you can do here. I hope that was super helpful, Pile 4. Thank you so much. Please give this video a like if it resonates. It really does help the channel. Comment below with what pile you chose. I love to talk with you all in the comments, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Take care of yourself. I do hope to see you on the next reading after this. I have a playlist with a ton of pick-a-card readings, everything from money, career, finances, love, relationships, spirituality, personal growth, everything. So check it out if you're interested, but if not this time, I will see you back on the next video. Bye, Pile 4.